In this lecture, we are going to understand how state works in React.js. Alright, so let's assume you are building an application and you want to maintain a component's data that changes over time. For example, on click of a button, you want to change the title of your application to something else. Yeah, so that will be done with the useState hooks. Let's practicalize it quickly. So quickly create a new component called title component. Command B, right click on the components directory, hit on new file. Title components.js. Generate the functional component. So here is where the fun begins. After that, open up the app.js and then let's render the component right here. First, we have to import it. Import title component from component/title component. We also have to place a comment on this. Come here and then title component. Close it up with the soft closing tag. Head on to the title component. So the aim of this lecture is to change the title of our application when the button is clicked. So to maintain a component's data that changes over time, we have to make use of the useState hooks. So right at the top, we just have to import it. Place a comma right here, open and close curly brackets, and I'm going to do useState. The useState hook is a special function that takes the initial state as an argument and then returns an array of 2 entries. It is a function, so we have to invoke it. I'm going to do useState like this. And the initial state is going to be an empty string. We also mentioned that the useState hook returns an array of 2 entries. So right here, we are going to have const title, comma, set title. Assign it like this. So this variable over here is used to hold the initial state. And then this guy right here is a setter function that is used to update the initial state. And in this case, we are going to have the initial state to be React.js course for beginners. Having done this, let's display the initial state right within the h1 tag. h1, we are going to have a curly bracket and then we just have to display the initial state, which is the title. Paste it here. Save. So this variable over here will be holding the initial state. When you save and check out the browser, here we go. Do you see that? Beautiful. So the intention of this lecture is to change the title of this application when a button is clicked. So here we are going to specify a button. So here I'm going to do change title. Beautiful. And here is it. So right now, when you click on the button, nothing happens. Let's quickly implement the onClick. OnClick equal. We are going to take in an arrow function over here, and then we have to invoke the setter function, set title, which is this guy over here. And right within the setter function, we are going to pass in the new state. So here I'm just going to do so let's save and check it out on the browser. Let's give it a try by clicking the change title button. Can you see that? On click of the button, the title changed. Let's reload. Can you see? React.js course for beginners. And when I click on the button, we see ultimate React hooks calls. This is indeed beautiful. And actually, this is just a glimpse of the useState hooks. Don't worry, in the future, we are going to discuss hooks in details. So to recap, whenever you want to handle data that changes over time, you definitely have to make use of the useState hooks. The useState hook is a function that takes in the initial state as an argument and then return an array of 2 entries. So right within this array, the first variable here is used to store the initial state. And then the second element in this array is a setter function that is used to update the initial state. So when the button is clicked, this function will be invoked, and then we are going to have a new state that is used to update the initial state. This is all for now. See you in the next lecture.